Welcome to the Nasty Reality live on location in the Nasty uh, car express car thing. But anyway, here we live here with another edition. We here on a Friday night. The name that day may change, the night may change, but it's still the Nasty Reality. We're getting here with my topics and my co-hosts and guest co-hosts come on. And we talk about the world of independent territory wrestling. And also, we talk about the world of national TV companies and beyond, giving you more than WWE and AEW and even TNA coverage. We give you as as going on, as is going on, it's it's the thing today that I've heard several different stuff. Oh, just several different releases just today. It was I was at a car that I was on that told me several different releases. I know that all those people um, will be fine. I know they will be fine. I know it's a difficult time in their life. I know nobody wants to get released from their job or whatever, or their dream job or whatever. But having full comfortability and full capability that Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, and those people will be all right. Uh, I'm sure even Braun Strowman, or was it Riley Osborne, all of them will find their stuff and they find their footings. Some will continue to probably wrestle. Some will do other stuff and other ventures and stuff. So shout out to them for in their next career path for the continuing of the wrestling career. Um, so so that is I want to get off that, but anyway, I'm going to talk about. You're looking at look who's coming in. It's my guest. It's my co-host. Stampede. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Leroy? Uh, as always, this time of year, right? We know they're coming. We just don't know who.
Yeah, definitely. It was a shock to me. I literally was on. I was literally just coming back wrestling, and I hear people that have been released, and it's crazy because you know some of the names were shocking, some of the names wasn't shocking. Um, but nobody wants to, like I said, lose their job or whatever. Nobody wants to lose their dream job. For most of them, has been their dream job. But I feel like I said before, Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai and Check Out Chance are going to continue to wrestle and continue to, um, just continue to just be their career. Uh, you know, for people who don't know, Dakota Kai was in Shimmer for a lot of years. Shayna Baszler was Shimmer. She actually started out the old school way of just grinding it out uh, on the on the territory circuit. Putting up rings and all that kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I mean, getting released in 2025 is a lot different than getting released, 5 years ago. The
For
industry is a
sure.
lot different. The landscape of it is a lot different. There's a lot more places for these people to go, right? Um, you see it up here in like in Scott's promotion, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, right? Like he gets people in from everywhere. People that are under contract, and he also a lot of freelancers, right? Some of them were releases from WWE, right? Bishop Dyer being one, Raj
Mm-hmm.
Deshi, former Jinder Mahal. That's just two off the top of my head. So you'll see people, that got released do things like that. Dijak is down in Arena Mexico tonight, right? He wrestled over in Rev Pro a week and a half ago. Right? Like he's doing things now that would never have been available to him before. So he's like there's a world beyond, Stanford, and like these people are going to get to experience that now. If I was Tony Khan, I would not be jumping to sign. The only person I would really reach out to out of the gate would be Dakota.
Sorry, got a connection issue. Damn.
You got yourself bounced.
Yeah, I was like, my Wi-Fi. I was coming in the house and the Wi-Fi was shutting on or something, or changing
But yeah,
something. Damn.
just before you departed there for a moment, I was just saying, if I was Tony, I wouldn't be grabbing a lot of pens and papers for this. I
For
think I think
sure.
the only person I would explore would be Dakota.
Really?
She yeah, she offers a lot of things in a lot of different areas, I think. And I think she would fit in there quite well. But the rest of them, like, and not a knock against them. There's just all different reasons, right? So,
Right.
but Dakota would also fit in. I
I
believe,
thought you
if
was
I'm
gonna
not
say Shayna
mistaken,
Baszler. I'm not
before
gonna
she
lie.
had resigned, before Dakota had resigned with WWE, I believe she was exploring Stardom as a potential landing spot. So she
I'd
may
be
still
fired.
do that because, well, there's openings there, right?
Yeah.
Mario just went over to Marigold. Tam Nakano retired, and Tekla is most likely, from what I'm hearing, AEW bound. So there's three openings there, but they do have a good, like, they got a deep roster already.
Right. So before my Wi-Fi really changed and I think it was just connecting or something. I was going to say that I could see Shayna Baszler being over there in Ring of Honor, but um,
I can see Shayna doing like a mercenary type of thing,
yeah,
like just going
like this,
territory to territory and just literally beating the shit out of everyone, right?
yeah,
Because that's
the
her
Queen,
that's her
the
persona. That's
Queen's of
what she does.
Spades mercenary
Yeah,
tour.
but you would see, like, and people that have only watched like main roster are not getting the full scope of what Shayna Baszler is. Go back and watch her
Yeah,
NXT stuff if you want to see what she can actually. Mind you, that was a little while ago. She's still quite capable of doing those things. But main roster is not what's indicative of Shayna Baszler. Right?
No, no, I think it's that people, if you watching Shayna, is like, oh, she's not really
Do
gonna
not
go
sign
nowhere.
Braun Strowman.
I don't think AEW's gonna sign Braun Strowman.
No, don't.
I don't think so. So
Well, he's just not that
what I
good,
will
man. He's 40 or north of 40 now. He can't move. Like he doesn't move well. He's
can't
big.
move, dog. You
That's
can't
it.
even move in WWE. Yeah.
If you can't move in WWE, you have
No,
no hope in keeping up across the streets. That's not going to happen.
for sure, for sure. It's just
Send him to
that's the
Triple A.
thing.
He shoot right to the top of
This
that mountain.
guy, that's a this guy. Um, but no,
I'm keeping an eye here to see if there's any more news coming through, release wise.
I keep having these connection problems. Are we back? All right.
You are back.
Hi, I'm
What's
back.
going
I
on?
I think I hit something or whatever. But I'm back. I am back. I didn't mean to. I was in mid conversation
Cora,
and just
Cora
yeah.
Jade kind of surprised me a little bit, and so did Chikara Jackson.
He said Jade and Jakarta surprised you.
Yeah. Well, like Cora, they were both pretty strong to start the year off. Like they were presenting her well. They were getting her in there regular. She was over in TNA doing stuff with Masha. So like she was off to a good start, and she looked
Yeah,
good.
I think
And then they just
I think
pulled back.
it surprised
And
that
it's like,
surprised
okay,
me too. You know that one got me. I was
well,
like Cora, like not the
well, I
elite
gave
saying
them
Cora.
well, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I figured, okay, they're playing with their new toys over there in NXT, right? So that kind of bumped down the card a little bit. Once that sorts itself out, she'll reinsert herself. That's what I was hoping. That's not what happened, obviously.
Right. It's a thing, Stampede, that I think that once you think somebody's doing all good and stuff, you never know because she was on TV. She was with Roxanne. I mean, I pretty much think they was gonna get her ready for another title run, or to be tag or NXT women's or a North American. So it's like it's crazy because I never expected because we just seen her on TV, and it's never like an indicator like oh yeah. I think sadly enough, it's not surprising that for most people, Shayna Baszler is on the release list. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but like she was never really on TV, especially Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. They was
Well,
on TV recently,
who
but
did Shayna get in a bit of a tip with there several months back?
oh Jade and stuff.
Right. Who's going to win that tip? We just found out.
You would think Shayna, but
Well, yeah, well, I mean, in the real world, you know, if there's an issue
now
backstage
we
between
know.
those two people, and one has to stay and one has to go, there's no argument as to who's staying and who's going.
Yeah, you would think like tenure and stuff, but like, no, this is our golden goose, so we're gonna release you. But it's just a sad thing that it goes on in World Wrestling Entertainment. This is the thing. This is the thing. I want to say a lot of stuff, and I want to like go on a rampage, and I definitely want to rant and crash out.
Rampage
But
not on anymore, man.
I want to know. I want to crash out, but I can't because not only the pure shock, but I can't crash out because it just. I don't say immature. It just like I don't know. I don't want to just crash out all the time over companies or not just companies over people, right? And even that Cart Jade is one of my good friends, and this shocks me to my core. Um, and I want to be like, why didn't you put the title on Cora and why you didn't do this with Cora and stuff? But I don't even call Cora, but you know what I mean for Jade and stuff. Why do you put the title on Jade, the other Jade, Cora Jade and stuff? Which I'll be honest, I didn't really like that name for the first place. I still would never call her Cora. Sometimes I would call her Cora, but I would always call her Elena because this is like I know he was Elena, and I like Elena better than Cora Jade. I just that was my whole thing. I knew you was Elena. I know most WWE fans like who is that? Who are you talking about? Um, and if you're one of those fans, yes, Cora Jade used to be Elena Black, and hopefully she'll go back to Elena. Um,
You can't keep Cora Jade if WWE owns that.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I hope she won't change it from like a different name. Where I used to be Elena Black, but now I'm this person, like Ruby Soho. So just keep Elena. That's all I ask. But I like to see the good in things. Like what the crazy part is, I literally had, and this may seem how it is, or big league, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever. I literally just had a conversation with her. Like I would say, like she wasn't in Vegas. I mean, she was, but she wasn't in the parts of the areas that I was in. Uh, I think I passed by her, and I remember her like being at one of the shows, and we had a conversation. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, she was. She was in. She was in at one of the venues, uh, and we just got to chop it up. I messaged her before that. I DM'd her because she was like she posted a GCW picture, and I think she really like missed being a freelancer and stuff like that. Um, and we had a conversation and stuff like that. But then we had an in-depth conversation in person, and I just like, hey, you just gotta show them that, hey, listen, you got signed for a reason. You gotta show them that, hey, listen, you're a main event star, and you should be treated like such. And you should be running the ball with the promotion. Like do this tag team thing with Roxanne and stuff, and to knock it out the park. Cause like I think you have had numerous of chances. I think she's knocked out the park, but I one of the things we talked about is her injury, and then her her new enhancements, body
We got
enhancement.
another. Yeah, we got another release too. Gallus has been released.
Damn, I guess it's been released.
Yeah, like I mean, and Cora's injuries, like they're a legitimate, you know, thing to be noticeable on, right? Like, she's just coming back. She doesn't have a ton of reps under her belt, but but she was still getting her speed, up to par. That's what this run was, right? I don't know how far she is along with that, but you got to remember too, like the WWE style is very specific and it's slower from what I see
Yep.
than
I
like so,
think like
you got to watch where you put her because okay, can you keep up to this, right?
yep.
That's why I'm saying with Cora, let her go and do some other things first. See how that works. If it's going well, then if Tony wants to come back and revisit that, I would come back and revisit. But you got that same worry with Dakota too, right? She got a long injury history, but she has the experience. She has a lot more years in the game, right? So,
I think so too. Like the thing is, we have a, and I'm not gonna put all the conversation out there. But I was like, I say you need to be ready for. I just say you need to be ready for anything and everything. I just like you need to be ready for like if you do come back on the if you do come back out here, you need to have contacts. You know to have to reach out to people. So I said I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but I think you need to hit people up as soon as it happens. I think if you're going to be emotional about it, like get the emotional stuff out the way, maybe like an hour or two or whatever, however you need to grieve or whatever you need to do. Uh, and then hit the pavement. Like I'll be like, listen, you got more contacts than me, pretty much, but I said I still keep in contact with some of the old people, and I was like, if you need some, I got you. And so he's like, oh yeah, when that happens, I was like, so immediately when that happens, you need to do that. If you gotta cry it out for an hour, and then be like, all right, let's get to work then. Now I know that sounds easier than done, but like I said, I was like, if you need contacts, I got you. Now that was just because I kind of felt like she was the way she was talking, she was kind of upset. I said, but you can only do what you can do on the NXT and like bust your ass. So I think I remember seeing something about her and Jordan Grace and like I think Jada Parker in like a 3-way. I think like she buckled her knee or whatever. Um, and and it was scary, but like she came back. So I think that buckled her knee is kind of like, all right, we got to release her. She's not progressing like we thought she was progress. So I think it was probably just a TKO thing. I think it was like, hey, we got to release
I'm not
you.
going to mention any names on this, but there are people on that roster who have had injury histories who have progressed a whole hell of a lot less than Cora Jade, and they're still employed. So
I'm crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's
there's place, like I said, there's places you can go. Like, Kylie Ray is like she got signed to fight Marina Shafir for the Defy World Title, right? Like there's places to go, there's things to do, there's ways. They will make money. They still have the name and the face recognition to go off of, right? So they'll be
yeah.
fine. Like I watched that Rev Pro show a week and a half ago, right? Like the amount of women that run that show is insane, right? So you know,
Right.
CMLL, right? CMLL, they got a good women's division. They do tons of multi women matches and multi man matches, right? There's work there. And the thing is, if you get in with those places, like a CMLL or Stardom to an extent, but I mean that's halfway around the world. But if you get in with your CMLL and your Defy and your Rev Pro and places like that, right? You're on someone else's radar then
Mm-hmm.
because he works with them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a way to get noticed and kind of Here's my tryouts all over the place, and if it works, then that could lead. He doesn't have to sign them to see these things firsthand, right? So benefits of a partnership as opposed to an arrangement, right? Different.
Hmm. I think it's just a thing where, and this is the end of it, but yeah, I think Tony knows. He knows like when he sees certain people, he'll be selective. I think he's very selective now. Like he's not signing everybody. There used to be a point where he used to sign like, oh, if you release from WWE, I'm gonna sign these three.
Well,
I'm gonna sign these
different.
four.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, it was different. It was a different dynamic back then, though, right? He didn't have nearly the roster he does now.
Right.
So when WWE was doing all this, right? Like WWE had the cupboard, right? Stocked. So when they started unstocking some of the cupboard, like okay, let's stock some of mine. That was just smart, right? Not all of them were, but a good chunk of them did.
Hmm.
That's not the
So,
case now. Like you look at the talent that's on that roster, man. It's hard to break through to that upper tier. That's pretty stacked. But somebody mentioned earlier, and I thought this was a very interesting idea. Um, I'm going to use him by his non WWE name, Carl Fredericks. I'd like to see him pop by CMLL.
hmm.
I think that would be quite interesting. Eddie Thorpe, for those who are wondering. I never liked the name Eddie Thorpe.
I never liked that name either. Well, all right. As much time as we've been on WWE releases, we got more show to go.
Oh, I highly doubt they're done, Leroy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These things have a way. Yeah, these things have a way of dripping in over time. So
There's gonna be more. There's gonna be more. But we're gonna be on the next topic. We've got you was in the space with Russell Collective, and you talked about the ticket sales of WB,
I
right?
did.
So, as much as I don't like to go over ticket sales and analytics and stuff, that's not my bag. What I will say is this: the question is, why do you think that they're going up on their prices? Why do you
You
think
mean like the
that?
40 grand? You
Yeah,
mean
why
like
do
the
you
40
think they're
grand stuff?
charging like 40, 50, 60, all these upper charges, for SummerSlams and WrestleMania and all that kind of stuff?
Well, those there, right? They're not for me or you or your average Joe fan. That's not what those tickets are for, right? That's I'm a corporation, I'm a business. Okay, I'll buy these and then I'll give these to comp them to clients or whatever, right? That's what they are. No regular fan in their right mind can plunk down $40,000 for a WrestleMania ticket. It's more of a status thing, you know. Look where I am, get your picture taken with whomever is there, right? But there's a ripple effect to that because you hear a WWE crowd at a live event, it's not the same as other places. You know, like that Rev Pro show I heard, that sounded like there was 50,000 people there, man. Right? There was probably 2,000. You know,
But they
you don't
sound
get
like
that natural. Yeah, you don't get that natural vibe from a WWE crowd. It's very manufactured, right? But that's the crowd that they go after, right? So, but even when you get away from the ringside seats, the prices are still way too much, for people to be taken in these shows, man. Like And I know they think the product is really hot right now, and that may be the case, right? But you can easily price yourself out of that. Like look back to what Dwayne said about the elimination chamber. Where they had to bring me in because the tickets weren't moving well. Well, why do you think they weren't moving well? Right? Could it be that they might be a little bit too expensive? The build for it was a partial thing too.
Sure, for sure. And this is
But
like,
on but on the other side of that fence, you see Tony kind of countering that with some of the advertisements he's doing, right? Tickets as low as $20, right?
yeah, I like that. I like how he was like, all right,
Well,
all
yeah.
right, since Derby
Well,
is going expensive, we going lower, and I like that.
well, it's
Whoever's in
smart,
the
right? You're doing
whoever,
smaller venues. You can get a family there that actually want to go, right? And all of a sudden now they can afford it, right? That's how you get those crowds. You hear the crowd is like, wow, the crowd was hot. Well, why do you think they were hot? Right? Because they wanted to be there, you know, and all of a sudden they could afford to be there. Of course they're excited. Not rocket science, but
they ran
but WWE will keep putting those ticket prices out there as long as people will keep paying them. You
right,
know,
they ran.
same same as their shows. They'll keep running the same style shows as long as people keep tuning in. Right? There's ways to combat those first two things, but people just don't seem to catch on to what that is.
Yeah, they ran here in Atlanta, like in my town that I'm in. So I'm in this town, like literally 20 minutes from my house. Not 20 minutes from my house, 20 minutes from the city. Town called College Park. And here we have the College Park Hawks. It's kind of like it's the G League of the Atlanta Hawks. And their arena is like 10 minutes from my house. Right? Great for me. But I want to just go back there. And luckily, because I'm that man, and yes, people, the name is like it says, I'm that man for a reason, so I can go back. Nobody can do it but me. Uh, other people can do it, but I don't just have to. If I want to go and get a enhancement job, that too. But if I just want to chill, I chill, and I appreciate the people at AEW let me do that. Let me walk in there and do my thing. But um, the thing is, when I was there, Stampede, everybody, I was the crowd. I think the crowd was loud that whole entire night. The whole entire night, they had Will Ospreay coming out. They sing his song Ospreay, Ospreay, and they had. I think they was out for. This is what I'll give to AEW. I don't know if they've been listening to me. Probably not, but I always thought it was a good suggestion to have Ring of Honor before AEW. You know, have a hot crowd before Dynamite. And I think they just changed it in and out. But when I was there, they did Ring of Honor before Dynamite. I always think that's a good thing because it gets the crowd hot for action before Dynamite. But mostly they do it. They do Collision and Ring of Honor for those who know. But they did it like right before Dynamite. Crowd was hot, and this is where it goes to like their tickets. Everybody was like, if you hear like so most of the time, what people don't know is I'm cool with a lot of people, the background people. I'm cool with my boy Charlie Ramone, aka Closing Ramone, as I call him. He used to. He's promoted now, but he used to go out there and he used to get like feedback from the crowd. Oh, how did you like AEW and what did you think about AEW and that kind of stuff. On top of like making stuff for people. So I happened to go out there with, you know, uh one of the people. It wasn't clothesline, but I asked him. I said, "Hey, how'd you like AEW? How'd you like your AEW experience in Atlanta, and Atlanta proper because it's not in north. It's not north side of the city or whatever." So, oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. All I heard was, "Oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. Oh, they need to come back to this venue again. They need to be come back to College Park again. Oh man, this would be AEW venue." And people was like, "Oh, they should run a pay per view here. Oh, they should run a pay per view in this building. Oh, they should run." That's all I heard. Run a pay per view here. Run a pay per view here. Run a pay per view here. Like it was a there was a lot of people who said run a pay per view, and which I think they should. Um, because it's an untapped market. Atlanta is. You would think Stampede will build the history that Atlanta has from wrestling. That you would think Atlanta gets all kinds of wrestling. You would think, oh, it's like in New Jersey, it's like a Philly, it's like a New York, even Chicago. You think, yeah, y'all come to Atlanta all the time. No, I think AEW comes here the most. MOW and GCW come here and TNA. WWE doesn't even. It'd be 3 years before they come here again. I know they will because it's always been a thing. I always hated that when I lived down here. I think that's why I'm not so transformed and I'm not like so WWE heavy. Like I think because I saw it. I don't know. Maybe as a, like we said before, I just wasn't attracted to WWE at the time. I watched it and I liked it and I followed stories, but it wasn't my main cup of tea when I found something else. Because when I found Ring of Honor, I pretty much was like dipped into other stuff. But like getting back on the topic of like the whole thing, I think like crowds like Atlanta want places in their city like AEW. Oh, the tickets are $20. Oh, you're actually in the city because College Park is in the city. It's 20 minutes literally outside the city, but it's still in the city. It's like the Atlanta proper, you know. So it's kind of like your place, you know. If they came over where you live, like the venue where you want Maple Leaf to run, it's kind of like that thing for me. So I think they just need to keep with the $20 tickets, keep with the beers being cheap. Like I always say, what I've learned is if you are running even an independent show, you need to have you need to be have the tickets be cheap, the beer be cheap if you're gonna have beer. But if it's your family owned stuff, the food be cheap, not super pricey. So then the people who come to your shows are gonna get their kids if it's family friendly. It's kids, you're gonna get the kids into it. The kids are gonna be into it. I don't care what you say. I feel like unless you try to like run away from it. Out today, we was at I was at this venue. I was at this venue downtown. I won't say the name because I don't know I don't know what it is on Body Slap Net. Well, I think yeah we can say it because it was a weed shop. It was a weed shop. It was a cannabis shop. It was a place where they was running there, and but it was on but it was on Krog Street, which is a place on the Beltline where the train comes and a lot of traffic and it's there's it's the inner city of Atlanta. So like Atlanta. So everybody's walking by, everybody sees it. Say, hey, what wrestling league y'all part of? Oh, this is cool. Oh, pro wrestling here. Oh, pro wrestling here. They see it because it's in the city and it's in the right place where people are walking by. So people see it. They see a ring. They're like, oh, it's a pro wrestling show. I remember this guy wanted to come in there so bad. I think he probably did. I don't know if I didn't see him, but like his wife was like, I don't want to really go in, but he was real down. He was like, can we? He's I don't think we can bring dogs in here. He's like, yeah, y'all can bring dogs. He's like, all right, we gonna come back. And I think if you just the basis of promoting and marketing, what I've learned is if you just have something where people can see it, they see shit going on, especially on the independent level, they see wrestling, they're like, yeah, we're gonna get them in the building. And mostly you will. And there was a crowd. So I think on a national TV level, you just have to have more commercials. I think you have to have commercials in different places, which Tony's doing, and whoever his marketing girl is, uh, shout out to you who, if you like putting it in airports, put it in like I seen it at one time. I seen it in on TV at Hooters. You just gotta keep doing that, and if you keep doing that, people will be like, "Oh, what's AEW? Oh, okay, let's look cool. Let's look cool. Let me check it out. Hey, kids, you want to go down to AEW watch AEW wrestling?" And they was like, "Yeah, let's go watch some wrestling." Even if they only watch WWE or they've never seen pro wrestling, I think it's a good thing to you getting people in the door. So, tickets are $20. All right, let's go. Or you and a homie. I literally know a homie right now. We was literally on a couch one time, like recently, like last weekend, I think. Yeah, last weekend. And he was like, and we was watching some show, and AEW the Collision came on a commercial. Watch AEW Collision at Saturday at 8 on TBS. This is a special show on TBS. He looked at me like, You wrestle, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, you wrestle for this AEW place?" I said, "Yeah, I've worked for them. I've did dark matches and stuff. Um, but yeah, technically I wrestled for AEW. Yeah, I was also in the crowd, but yeah, is it really good?" I was like, "Yeah, it's dope, man. You should check it out, man. You gonna like it, man." He says, "Man, I don't know. I don't. It seemed like some WWE shit. I'm not really into that shit." I was like, "I feel you. But I think you should give this a chance. I think you should give this a chance. There's a lot of dope wrestlers, a lot of dope people on there. Just give it one thing. If you don't like it, just turn away. You can watch something else." Um, so we watched it. I think Stampede, what match that hooked him is the what was it? Was it a Mark Briscoe match? Probably was a Mark Briscoe match. But anyway, the last weekend show hooked him. He liked everything on that thing. He's like, "Man, this shit's fire." He said, "I'm gonna have to go to a event when I come down here to Atlanta." I was like, "You should." So I just think
Mark
it's
is
just like, hmm?
Mark is hard to not like,
Yeah.
right?
As soon as he
Like it
came
just
out,
yeah,
yeah. As soon as he
like he
came
just
out,
comes
I
off
already
as
knew.
very real. It's like I would imagine, like I would imagine that's if I were to meet Mark, that's probably exactly what I would meet. Is what I see on TV.
Yeah. What you see, what you get. Yeah.
And match wise, I mean, he's like a Swiss Army knife, man. You could you could put him in there with anybody, and it's going to work. Not work yet, you know. You got to put him in a trios match, put him in. You got to put him in with Fletcher, put him in. You got to put him with Okada, put him in. Like he fits anywhere. Like he's so valuable, like to have on a roster. Someone like
For
that.
sure. For sure. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I think it was. Did Willow come on last week? I don't think so.
No,
I think I think so. I don't. I'm not really sure. No. All right. But I was showing him Willow and stuff. I was like, "Oh, if you like Mark Briscoe, you gonna love Willow." He's like, "Willow." I was like, "Yeah, you gonna love like Jeff Hardy Willow." I like, "Nah, this is a girl, homie, but she's dope as shit." So like doing a commercial, I just showed him like on my phone. I just showed him. I showed him
but
like
she's another one too. Right? Like she comes out very natural.
Yeah.
You know,
So he's literally hooked on AEW now. He is now an AEW watcher. I don't know if he's like a fan, but he watches. He's like, I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna check it out. So I told him they have a show on
see now
Wednesday and
he's
shit.
going to need your help.
Huh?
Now he's going to need your help, right? Because you're going to have to guide him through everything that's going on there. Because this is not,
Oh yeah,
um,
for sure.
yeah, it's not like you can walk in and be up to speed on everything in a week. There's just too much going on.
No, I told him, man, listen, this ain't this is where they. I told him this ain't where they show you 50,000 vignettes and about what happened last week. So I'm gonna have to probably just show you,
Well,
guide you a little bit.
yeah. Well, and that's what I tell people, right? Like if you sit down, and I've done this, like I know watching on a Monday night for the 2.5 hour, however long it is now, right? I can have it on and be kind of half paying attention, and I still don't miss anything. Like I can do a show directly afterwards and talk about the entire show, and I'm fine. But I was, kind of in and out the whole time paying attention to it, right? But that's how their shows are structured, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that, right? If you tried that for the 2 hours on a Wednesday, right, you're fucked. You'll be lost. You'll be missed because they're
Mhm.
very subtle in how they do things. They're not going to give you. It's like, oh, you missed that. Oh, you weren't paying attention. Hold on, we'll replay it for you, and then we'll do a recap on it too. Like
Mhm.
they just move through the show too fast. They're just boom, let's do this, this, this. Okay, on to the next one. Boom, on to the next one. Right. So you have to pay attention. Like, you have to focus for the 2 hours. But that's what they want. They want you invested. They want you paying attention. So it's just it's different ways of presenting the product, right?
Mhm.
So, and some people, even 6 years in, don't get that, and I don't know why. It's not that difficult to figure out.
I saw somebody like I muted them or said I was not interested in the post, but I saw somebody says I don't get AEW, I don't get Kevin Knight, I don't get Speedball Mike Bailey and shit.
I've seen that. Was that the
Huh?
video?
Yeah, it was on the DJ's post and shit. That's how I've seen it.
Yeah. No, no. Somebody posted a video the other day. It was the dumbest fucking thing I've heard, like, ever. Like, you obviously don't watch, and if you do, you don't pay attention to what you're watching. None of it
So
was. Yeah.
yeah.
Like why even post a video to make yourself sound that foolish? But he seems quite proud of it. So pat on the head to him. Good luck in
So,
your
so I
future
think
endeavors.
sometimes I don't even interact with them, and then most times I just like, well, do you feel proud about yourself? That's what I normally say, and I normally gets them under their skin. So it's like, do you feel comfortable in your opinion now? Me, do you? I was like, oh, why? What? Yeah, I do. It's okay, all right. And then they'll try and keep talking at me, and I'm like, okay, that's it. You got it, dog. And then what I think what upsets them is like it's not even me trolling. I think people think I'm trolling.
And I have
I
no
leave it
problem
at
with
that.
people. And I have no problem with people critiquing anything. Like you have at it,
Mm-hmm,
man. But there's critiquing something that you've seen, right?
mm-hmm.
And then there's bitching about something you didn't see. There's a difference, and you can usually spot those. You can usually flesh those out pretty quick.
I tried it. What's what it is? The guy was like, I tried to get in AEW, but I can't do it no more, or something like that, right? I seen it on DJ's post, and I was like, and I think he was like, yeah, this is what I've been trying to tell you. I've been watching it for weeks. And I was like, all right. So then I was going to, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to. But it would be one of those occasions where I feel like, you know,
I had one
not
guy
even,
tell me that he watches every. Well, I have the same thing. I have one guy tell me it's like, oh, I watch New Japan, and I watch, TNA, and I watch all those places, right? The only question he ever asked me throughout the entire conversation was, why isn't this WWE wrestler on your list? Why isn't that WWE wrestler on the list? And I went through his timeline, and the only posts that he ever made concerning wrestling, going back several months, was WWE. He was lying through his teeth. Like, why? Like, you're not going to impress me. You know, just say you're a
I feel I
WWE
rock
guy,
with
and
you.
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Just don't pretend to be something you're not. Like, we'll
You
we'll sniff
know,
you out.
not only Steph you out, but you know, and this is what I say to him. But uh, he might get mad. He might not. I don't know. I don't really care. But it's a thing of, well, shout out to Covalent TV. Always gotta give them props for this word because I love it. I don't know. I just love it. I just do. It's just, I don't know. I just do. Shout out to Mr. Starks and Warner. I met Mr. Starks in Vegas. He's a real cool dude. And yo, I just want to say this. This is on topic. It's not off topic. If you ever run up to Mr. Starks, who's a big black guy, and I mean big, he's bigger than Bully Ray. Lord help you, okay? You know how I think, I don't know about you, Stampede. You probably know some stuff. You seem like a man of culture and combat sports or anything or know stuff. Anyway, but you know how some people could just talk and like that you know they can fight. You know they can whoop you or they can whoop on somebody. And the reason I bring this point is, if anybody goes up to Mr. Starks and they want to smoke and they realize how big the fuck he is, because I was really like, damn, he's big. He's bigger like me, but he's tall big, you know? Uh it's in their voice inflection that I know I could whoop your ass. Like, and some people just know, like, in the confidence in their voice, like, come play with me if you want to, but you gonna leave in loud limp, that kind of thing. So I just say to anybody that don't like his smoke and just people in general like that, leave them people alone. Like, it's
Well,
the same thing. It's the same thing with Sean Ross Sapp. Like, don't care what he looks like. That motherfucker he knows how to fight. You just know how certain people talk, and I could just tell you could fight. But like, if that came to that thing, but that's what I'm just saying on the thing. But what I'm going to say is this: the you're giving Fat Walker energy, and that's okay. That's okay that you're a Fat Walker. That's okay. You act like, hey, I like AEW, I like New Japan, but do you really? And you're getting mad. I heard he was getting mad. I was in the space. I was like, brother, it's okay. It's all right that
Cora,
you watch forward so David.
Cora Jade has changed her name back to Elena Black already.
Yes, sir. I don't even have to. This is the best thing. I'm sorry. This sounds like I'm celebrating, but I never called her Corey Jade in the first place. So I been called her Elena Black.
Yeah.
So that
So
just
that
works
was
in for
pretty good.
me. That
Yeah.
was work for
So
me. I always call
no,
her
good on her,
Elena.
man. You move on. Move on to new things, right? So she's moving on to new
Yep.
things.
You know, shout out to her changing her name back to Elena Black. So yeah. All right. Somebody says good luck, Becker. I don't know who that is, but all right. Um, what I say is this: if you're a fat walker and you don't have to say it, I just know the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you have stuff, and that's okay. But don't act like you out here not being one. We know who you are. We know how you converse, how you talk. I can tell. And you know what? I never could tell. Shout out to Covalent TV for opening my eyes. That, and not only Stampede for opening my eyes, for letting me know. Anyway, so I think I think if you're a person who and they're my homies. So Wrestling Soup, shout out to missing Anthony Thomas and Joey Numbers, are my guys. And I'm not saying they're fair walkers, but they mostly enjoy World Wrestling Entertainment, and they don't try to hide it. They just like, look, listen. I just like World Wrestling Entertainment. It's thing going on. That's my favorite right now. They're probably watching SmackDown right now. Shout out to them. But they never been like, yeah, I watch AEW, I watch New Japan, but you know, uh, who I would like to see in TNA, or I like to see in SmackDown is what does it say? I like to see Emma Obafemi on SmackDown, in this or whatever, or I like to see Obafemi and this person from TNA. Cool. Or I like to see Derby ID people against LSG people. But I was like, I really like that Dynamite, but it wasn't really what I liked. I didn't really like that elbow spot. And I didn't really like how they did the arm spot. I didn't really like how they did the forward arm spot, hurting his arm like they wrenching his arm. I don't like that kind of wrestling. I don't like kind of fun. I like me to be super serious and it to be bangers all the time. And just be looking at you, be like, all right, you got it, dog. But no, it's I know I got on a whole tangent about like this different stuff, but relating back to the tickets, I think Tony Khan is like really like watching. Like I'm gonna be honest, I think he's like watching y'all in the spaces, brother. I really think he has somebody watching people in the spaces, and not because he's listening to people's suggestions. I think he's listening to certain spaces, and if not, really, he has somebody doing that. Um, I do know that he probably has somebody doing tickets and somebody doing different things. Because I do know for sure that they are trying to get more people to watch AEW, and I think they learn what they're good at. Okay, we have this audience. We have a certain audience, but we also can bring people in. And as long as we do a little bit of everything, and doing it our way. So I think they're in the medium stampede of like, okay, we do great matches. We do great storytelling in ring matches, right? That's our bag. They know that's their bag. But then we gotta get people in the door with the promos. I gotta get the door with packages. But we're not gonna give it to you all the time, but we're giving you packages. And we gotta get these venues and we gotta start running venues in cities that people that WWE doesn't run. And I think they've been doing that. They go to Mississippi and they went to Norfolk. Like not many people wrestling promotions go to Norfolk. My dad seen that and he was like, AEW's go to Norfolk, Virginia? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I didn't know he was going where I was from. Okay. I showed him, it was packed out. He was like, man, Norfolk, I didn't know it was wrestling town, but I bet AEW didn't know it was a wrestling town because it's not talked about. So I think if you go to the other cities that are not typically WWE and you go to the small, not even just the smaller cities, but you go to the big and small cities. You go a little bit of both. Okay, you go a little bit outside of Boston. You go a little bit of to Los Angeles, and then you go to like Jackson, Mississippi, or some stuff. Because they're tickets are $20. Oh, I'm gonna get that. Stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I just think that's the smartest thing. I think even with CML, they packing out with CML, like they're doing that thing up there. Like, I bet CML's like, we've been trying to tell y'all we're the number one, huh?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean that's sold out in the field, like 16,500 seats.
yeah. For
but they
sure.
also
It
know that, you know, like for that show that they're doing with AEW, they also know that they're going to be getting a wrestling show, a top-notch wrestling show, and a very much luchador style wrestling show, and it's going to present. They're going to get presented, in a way, in a fashion that they deserve to be. Right?
right.
Like, you look how AEW presents their luchadors, man. Like, they present them pretty damn good. Like, I mean, Bandito is your ROH champion. You had Commander as your TV champion. He had a good solid run with that. Commander has yet to eat a loss. Jalistico, Rush when he can keep himself out of trouble. Um, but and CMLL guys are always on Ring of Honor. Like there's a lot of good back and forth. So that's a really good partnership. It flies under the radar, but it's working really well for both.
Yeah. And CML works for MLW and AEW, so it's really good for them to get their people. Now, I'm not gonna be one of these dudes and be like, "Oh yeah, I've always known about CML." Nope, I've known about them for years, but I never really knew if they had a like a YouTube or whatever. So I don't know if they just got it or whatever. But these last 2 years, I've been watching CML and I've been watching Mystical. The original Sin Cara, for those who don't know, tearing it up and stuff. And I think a lot of wrestlers, and I think a lot of wrestlers want to wrestle in Mexico. Like they always heard this, it's always hall grounds there, historic place to wrestle in there. So, watching more of the competition, I know studying, for future booking dates in the future. Uh, you know, for me to debut, but also I like their stuff. I like they're not trying to be like WWE Luchador. It's just straight in ring action and telling you what the story, what the lucha. It's not like segments or anything like that. Um, and so yeah, they do what they do. There's no I got creative for AAA, and I don't know. It's not trying to be something that it's like not. They know what they are. They're pure pro wrestling. They're pure luchador stuff. Now, the next topic I would like to tell you is that I have here is I have the state of the independence and other states of international and statewide territories. Reason why this segment is called this is because we covering Japan, we covering you know luchador stuff we just talking about, in the world of United States territories. Anybody knows me, I call independent wrestling territories because that's what it is. Every parts of different parts of the country in the states here is a territory. Wrestling in different parts of the state. So I'll start off first, and Stampede can go at his international stuff that he's got his thoughts on. The state of independent wrestling, as known as independent territory wrestling, the underground scene. If you don't know, it's it's okay. It's not as hot as it used to be. Uh it's they still drawing out. It's still like it's still good. What do you say? I ain't gonna say okay. It's good to they're drawing out that promotions here in the States are doing pretty good business. They're doing pretty good. GCW is doing everything. Even that they're having a partnership with Derby basically. Um and local stuff here with the return of one fall wrestling. It's happened here in Georgia. Back in the day when I came back into wrestling a couple years ago, I started training with the Power Factory. Back then, it was the Power Factory, QT Marshall and Glacier. And then other trainees would step in, Parson Martinez, Danny Cage, all that kind of stuff, right? So, 1FW is a special place in my heart because it was the first place that actually gave me opportunity to let me knock it out the park. And the reason why I say this It's now it is the premier, other than Action Wrestling, it is the premier wrestling promotion in Georgia. So if you're ever in Georgia and you're a fan of me and you want to see me wrestle in the Atlanta area or just Georgia and different because we going all over, or just hit me up, tag me or whatever, and say, hey, let me know when the next one for all show is, because I will. You can see that man mostly at the McDonald locations that we be at, because that's what I can get to. But yeah, it's full independent territory wrestling, the best territory in the state of Georgia. We working to get a lot of stuff going on. It's professional looking, looks like a TV studio type vibes going on, man. Like I ain't gonna say I can't say because last time I messed up, you know, future opportunities for the company, so I can't say what we're getting or where it's going to be broadcast. But when it is, y'all will be the first to know, and y'all will get to see one fall action. You can see one of the top bay faces, one of the top faces in the company. It's not just a promo line, but it's a fact. Uh, yeah. So independent wrestling, independent territory wrestling is good, but it could be better. And that could be better as we get more promotions coming together on All Out Weekend and all these other weekends, working together. So shout out to the people who are working together, Deadlock and West Coast Pro and Prestige and stuff like that. And if you need links and you can't find me, find my co-host Stampede, because he's always got a link on him. He's always got a link to Progress, Deadlock. He's got the hookup. He's just the plug. So I think it's okay. I think it should be better. You could always want something to be better. I want more promotions to be in Dallas, Texas. I want more promotions to be in different states that don't have it, so you can go to like good independent places and so just wait for GCW and other places. So Stampede, now that I'm in, did it? How? What's your call on the current international circuit? Um, Stuff going on, people leaving, people going back to stardom. People getting being bought out. You know, CML being the number one Lucha Libre company, Stardom and Marigold keep doing their thing. So, what it is, give me your opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the international scene. Just to get everybody kind of up to speed, a little bit of roster shuffling in Stardom. Tam Nakano has retired. You could not possibly go out like in a better fashion than Tam did. Just the presentation they gave her, and even the story building up like over the last several months, just impeccably done. Like she deserves all her flowers, right? One of the best to ever do it. Period. But she's no longer there. She's retired. Mayu Iwatani. This was coming for about a year. Most of us that have followed this and have paid attention knew. But she's finished up with Stardom. She dropped the IWGP Women's World Title to Siri in another match of the year contender. Uh, so she's out, and Tekla was fired on screen in kayfabe, but that was actually real too. So they just blended those two in. Tekla, rumor has it she's likely headed to AEW, which would make sense. So that's your Stardom picture as to who's gone. Stardom and also Mina too. You can't forget Mina. But Mina, we knew Mina was leaving for a while. But she even after that, she went back and worked some Stardom shows, right? So like they will still have access to her, if they needed her. Stardom is going to be just fine. Their roster is deep and stacked. Like they have so much good young talent there. Certain talent will move out, and that just moves other people up, right? Stardom will be just fine. They got a bigger presence in the States now than they ever did. They have a good little partnership going with AEW, like that. That works well. They cross promote, so they're going to be fine. Don't worry about Stardom, right? They have two ladies leading the top of it right now, Saya Kamatani and Starlight Kid, two of the best in the world, men or women, two of the best in the world right now.
Right.
Starlight Kid is like 20, 23, I think, right? Like
Hmm.
to be that good, that young. Then
Yeah.
they got some more wrestlers there, like Azumi is 23, Rena is 18, right? Like just there's tons of. So don't worry about Stardom. They're fine. If you want to get invested in them, this is a good time to do it because it'll be a fresh new start, new storylines, new everything. So it'll be a good time to jump in.
Definitely.
New Japan. Everybody has probably already heard Jeff Cobb has departed, which was coming for months. He was on WWE's internal roster for a while, but he had dates he had to finish up in Japan, so he finished them out and off he went. So you'll see him debut soon. Jeff did everything that he could do in New Japan. Like he was never winning the world title. He's not that kind of guy. He's also 42. He's not a young guy.
Yeah, man, make it
He's
fair to
probably
you.
yeah, he's 42. But he'll be fine, and he'll get paid in WWE. Like he'll get a good payday out of this. He'll probably settle somewhere into the mid card. Whether it be NXT or main roster. So curious to see what he'll do there. Naito is no longer under New Japan contract. They just couldn't come together on money. It wouldn't surprise me to see him back there at some point, but I think he'll just freelance around. Go place to place, wrestle here and there. But Naito's another guy. He's in his 40s. He got a lot of miles on him. He got well over 2,000 matches under his belt, and he has no knees. He, his knees are pretty beat up, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
Japan is another place, right? Like they'll be just fine. They got a lot of young guys on that roster, like Francisco Akira, Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Kosei Kushida, Yoda Sushi, David Finley's in his early 30s. They got Takeshita signed for a year. They work really well with AEW, and they work well with other promotions too. Like they'll work with CMLL. They do a lot of shows in the States. Like they got a pay per view coming up May 10th in on Ontario, California, Resurgence. Mercedes will be on that show. Like she holds one of their titles. The Bucks are going to be there. Most likely, it looks like Doc and Carl, the Good Brothers from WWE. People would know them. Most likely, they're going to be pairing up with the Bucks, which will most likely lead to other things elsewhere. So. And Takeshita is on that show. He's putting up his title against ELP, right? So like these places will be fine. You see a lot of red flags go up when people leave, but most of it is just doom and gloom where it's not needed. It's just things that happen. Every year. People leave and people come in. So.
Yeah, I think I think the international circuit would be good. I think you'll be okay. I think it's stuff has to, people have to leave, people have to come, people have to enter and debut, and so I think it's a change of life and stuff of the times of like the international stuff. Uh, I want to go ahead, Stab. You was about to say something. I don't want to interrupt.
No, that was all I had on that part for now.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm gonna say. Let's get my thoughts. Could I have this on my card? Um, I think in the international circuit and then the territories, you know, it's always transition. So these are transition times, but it's not bad. So everything is everything over in Stardom in New Japan is really doing good. So New Japan has got a couple people that, like you said, that are gonna lead the torch for it. Um, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I I think independently here in the States, we're in a transition to I think like House of Glory and reality wrestling and New South and Fourth Rope and all these places and stuff. I think Fourth Rope is gonna be like they're making moves now. So they Fourth Rope, Ashe, Naptown All Pro. Those are the promotions you need to be supported. Like true independent. Now, and I'm not saying don't support reality wrestling because you do support reality wrestling, even in their derby indeed, but support all the guys that are there, dope guys that are there. Gino Medina, I will say the one to watch. Everybody should watch out for in reality wrestling. You should watch out for Culture Inc. So that's the whole group, which is Kaya, Dream, um, both see me, and Eli Knight is in of course the manager styles of Nick Holiday. So definitely should watch out for him. Watch out for them. Watch out, of course. Everybody's gonna be talking about Zilla, of course, the blue chipper that he is. Uh, Watch out for all that talent over there because there's a lot of good ass talent. Haley Hood, Holly J. I had the pleasure of meeting her. Uh, recently it was cool. We had a brief interaction, so I think you should just pay attention to those people. Jada Stone, Maya World, like a lot of different talented people that are there. Texas is a real good place. And like a lot of people that even in reality wrestling and New Texas just to watch a high on, definitely you should keep your eye on it. If you don't know that name, definitely research that shit. And if you don't research it and you be like, I don't know how to do it or whatever the case may be, or I don't know where to go to watch the matches. Stampede is always a guy, and myself is always a guy that we can give you the matches. So definitely check out High Really is not only the women's on's women, she is a very good professional wrestler and a good character, and it just should be on somebody's TV. Um, it's a thing where I think now you got to you got to stay out there. You know, if you're an independent wrestler, you got to stay out there. You got to stay grinding. You got to say you do your thing. I think like it's not at a case where you know you just got to support the thing, support all the independent wrestling promotions, but mostly promote pr- follow the people, follow the people. You know, all those people I just said, follow those people. Um, and I think you're going to see a lot of different names popping up there and popping up on TV. Uh, One of my favorites is not because it's only the train with him. He's I don't know how to fuck you don't not put him on TV in a few years, I mean, like maybe 2 to 3 years. How you don't put this man on TV? But Darian Bankston, I don't, so look out for him. I always talk about him. He just reminds me of so many different people. I can't put it into words, but like he reminds me of like a whole bunch of different people. Um, Stampede, you've heard me talk about Darian Bankston. I don't know if you've seen some of his stuff.
Uh, Very, very little, but I am familiar with it.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, so like I would say he's a combine of like a little bit of Chris Hero, a little bit of oh man, he's just a little bit of everybody. But mostly I get Chris Hero. Um, a lot of the early Ring of Honor era type thing. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Jay Lethal. A little early Kitty Omega, a little bit in there. Has his own flair, has his own style, like Kenny did. So, yeah, it's you definitely want to watch those people. Trip Jordy, Brooke Havoc. Brooke Havoc's been making her name all over the country, literally and figuratively kicking ass, and she was in PWI. So Cody put her over, her being the first student and all that kind of stuff. And I did Nightmare Factory, and you'd be like, yeah, but naturally when you go there. But I'm a Power Factory guy. I wasn't coming in with, bare bones, Nightmare Factory stuff. But yeah, support these companies. It's in a good place right now. We want it to be in a better place. We want people to check out more. And I know that I'm always an advocate for independent wrestling, independent businesses, especially good shit. So if you want to see that good shit, just request it, man. Like, that's what it is. They have places like Prestige and West Coast Pro and all that kind of stuff to go off and see. Like Lucky Ali, before he was signed, he was on DPW. He was doing his thing. And I think like you just gotta support, the people out here. Support good people, support independent wrestling. Support my boy Darius Lockhart and Darius Carter. It's not my boy, but support Darius Carter, but also support Ashe Wrestling. They're doing a new they're doing a new flavor to it, to pro wrestling and stuff. And I think like I said before, it's good, but we need more support. We need more people to spread the word to all these different places so they can have a chance to grow and pay more of their wrestlers and have production team that they need to and have a good aesthetic. But yeah, the state of independence is good, but it could be better. So that being said, next topic. Um, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I like that last show. I like Kevin Knight doing his thing. Kushida. Wait, Christian, that's a team for you. And QT Marshall. So that was really good. I gotta go watch what match 2 later on, but it was a really good show. What do you think about it, Stampede? I know you checked it out because you love some Maple Leaf Pro like myself.
Yeah, Maple Leaf Pro. I mean, this is something that you should be supporting. Like Scott resurrected this promotion that was dormant for pretty well 40 years. Like it closed its doors a while ago. Uh, but there is no major promotions up here in Canada, right? Like Scott's will be the first one in a long time. But when you see a guy that does this, and then you see all the help that he gets from all the promotions literally around the world, right? That should show you that this is something I should be paying attention to, right? Like Scott has a very good reputation in this business, and he loves the business. When you get an owner and a promoter and a booker who has a genuine love for what he's doing, it's going to show in the product. So like this is something to get invested in on the ground floor, right? You know, get the pay per view. If you see them tweet something, repost it. Give it as much visibility as you can. You'd be glad you did, right? Because I think this is something that's going to take off for them. Because there's an appetite for it up here. I'm in Canada, and we've been crying for something like this for a long time. And now we have it. We'll support it. Like we will go to these shows. We will be loud, right? We will be vocal, and we will spread the word. So everybody else that's not in Canada, do the same thing. Get the word out there.
Right. Support Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, support independent territories, and support these wrestlers that I said, and we got to change the narrative of just the regular status quo of That'll be AEW. Wait till they come on TV now. Support them now in their journey, man. That's what it's really about, man. You know, you want to catch these. It's like I use this analogy. It's like a band that you first see at a dive bar in your local city, and you be like, "Oh, I've seen these guys before." You see them coming out at a bigger venue, at a bigger place, and stuff, and you be like, "Oh, I know those guys. Those are my guys and stuff." And if they're real cool, the wrestlers that or they will be like, "Oh, that's dope. I saw you like at this event supporting my boy and whatever." And like that goes a long way. I think we needed more and more connection, more communication on not only just where to find them, how to find them, or like you know get them on dates or whatever. Um, get them on more dates. Get follow them to the dates and support them. Like we need to put you know the boost to the ground and let people know about independent wrestling, territory wrestling. So I say, Stampede, that it's a segment called Rat Bastard of the Week. This Rat Bastard of the Week happens to be none other than Atticus Cougar because you decided to retire my homie. You just decided to do a rat cheap bastard stuff and wanted to take off his mask. And I blame you for it. That's why I'm gonna put hands on you as soon as I get my chance. Also, I just want to put hands on you, what you did to me at spring break. I don't forget that shit. Anyway, but that's my rat bastard of the week. Now, for those who don't know, who are listening to this, and you be like, "Rat bastard of the week." But if you don't know, I call anybody shady, shifty, and out of line, and just pisses me off that I want to whoop your ass multiple times, and I can't stand you. That is a rat bastard. That is my definition. So, Stampede, who is your rat bastard of the week?
Rat bastard of the week. I would say whoever is responsible for these releases today,
I say so. Yeah.
right? Like they have so many avenues to get people on TV. They have 5.5, almost 6 hours of TV per week on their two main shows. They have another 2 hours of NXT. They have Evolve. They have main events. They have they have a quote unquote partnership with TNA, who has a very small roster, right? You can't get them over there to do these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You can't? You know? And I don't want to see anybody lose their job. That's not where I'm going with this. But sometimes there's light at end of tunnels. It is proven to be more often than not true for a lot of these people that do get released. Right? They don't all end up in AEW, and they don't all end up in New Japan or Star, like the big ones, but they all thrive. They're all out doing things, right? You know, and I think that'll be the case for most of these people. They're going to be just fine. They're going to land on their feet. You know, they're just going to have a different employer. That's all. And in some cases, they're going to be their own employer. They're going to be their own boss. They're going to be calling the shots. So, it's all in how you look at it. But there's no need of them. If they structured what they did there differently, a lot of these things wouldn't have to happen. But they do every year. So that's my rat bastard of the week.
You know, I think I think we're at a time and a point in professional wrestling where a lot of people are going to, and when I say a lot of people, uh, I mean WWE, but mostly a lot of people are going to, try to get somewhere in their career. No matter if it's on TV or if it's international, or just trying to get somewhere. Speaking as a wrestler, it's that's what we're doing. And for those who are watching SmackDown, God bless you and stuff. I don't know if I could do it, especially if it's mid. I'd be disappointed in myself. But I think we're in a time where
I am not.
you're not. I think we're at a time and place of like we're making our own way, and for those people who are not getting chose by the WWE, don't get discouraged. You just gotta make yourself a brand and equity that people cannot deny. And the people who wants to get the World Wrestling Entertainment, good luck, man. Get on the ID shit and bust your ass, man. Get on these seminars and bust your ass if that's your goal. But if it's not, and you like me, and you just want to wrestle, and you just want to wrestle in Japan, you want to wrestle in England, that's your success. I always say there's many different levels, many different ways of success. So I would say strive for that. You know, yeah. So I think that's what we need to do in the future. Now we got Rap Bass out of the week. So let me tell you about my week going on right now. It's been good so far. Saturday, I'm gonna be going with my friend Stunt. We're gonna go up to some shows. We're gonna do our thing. Now, if you're asking to talk about backlash, no, we're not talking about backlash. But we will be talking about the stuff after backlash. Sometimes if you feel like it. Um, this is what I'm on. I want to bring up something that I saw today. AEW is going to be in my home city in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the 2300 Arena, aka now known as the 2300 Arena, but like it's the arena. The what the fuck? That's what I'm saying. What the fuck was I saying? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Shit. The fuck, I hate when that shit happens. Ah, fuck. I can't. Anyway, I just keep saying what I was saying. Yeah, it's gonna have pro wrestling up. This different me and other people going to other stuff. Don't get worried. That's what I was gonna say. Don't get worried about the ID program because well, you can, but it's not for those. They're not gonna choose everybody. They have a selected few people they're gonna choose. Uh, you might just get on the dirty ID. But for those who want to go to WWE, that's cool. That's your thing. It's your bag. But now, if you're just an international wrestler, you can just choose to be one. And I think the current climate of today, of this good period that we in wrestling, um, yeah, we have badass women on both sides of companies and the future women and stuff like that. So anyway, even that I was kind of rambling, don't even know what I was saying. But that's what I'll say today. Uh, we come back here and we just need to see you like you subscribing on YouTube, you checking out more of Bodyslam Net uh of their whole catalog. Shout out to the DCW podcast. Shout out to everybody there. Shout out to my boy Effie who I was at the show with. It was good chopping it up with him. So Next topic is the NWA. I know Stampede, you wanted to talk about this. I know you've seen it around. I know you've seen the match. It's Natty Neidhart versus Kenzie Page at the Crockett Cup 2300 Arena. What you think gonna happen, man? What do you see? What do you see the what do you see this match looking like?
I don't I don't see Natty taking the title just because of where she works at, but I'm interested to see what Natty does. I know what she does where she works, which isn't a whole hell of a lot. But I seen her match at Bloodsport, and that those intrigue me, right? So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this match plays out. But I don't see Natty taking the title. No.
I have a thing where I just want to say, closing off. Um, that I appreciate everybody, all the 269 people that has been watching this broadcast. Um,
269. Kate would be so happy.
yeah, like hearing me and Sam P just talk, and as some people say, my dad says rant on, you know. So he hearing me rant on about anything, and sorry, it was just some dead air, but I just really couldn't think of anything. I think I was just saying stuff I was trying to catch up with. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming in here and coming liking up the broadcast. Unless you like up some more of this stuff, man. Cause like I've been having some not I've been not show issues, but some troubles with scheduling conflicts. So I think going forward, we're going to be on Friday because and Wednesday was easier. Um, and I think it's good to talk while SmackDown's going on because now it's 3 hours. You can we can get Sam Peak and he can get on earlier. We don't have to do it like we used to, like at 10. We could just do it earlier. And I like having you on Sam Pete and stuff. But yeah, too many people hearing me walk and doing all kinds of stuff, and I appreciate it. Now it's 289. So I want to thank everybody on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything that is broadcasting. But I'm also gonna say on this topic of the last topic of the night, I think Natty is going to show the wrestling world. If you watch NWA and you watch their stuff on YouTube, or I think they're gonna have it on Twitter, you're gonna see this a different Natty, and like I'll leave with this and say this last thing because we got to get ready.
Go check out
Uh,
Natty's match. Well, go check out Natty's match at GCW Bloodsport. Okay,
definitely,
go
definitely
find
do
out.
that.
You are going to you are going to see a different Natty than you've seen in WWE. She's a very good chain wrestler, right? She was giving out some very stiff shots, and she took some very stiff shots from Mayu Yamashita. For those wondering who that is, that's the lady that was in the ring with Tony Storm on Wednesday, right? So get a look at it, see what you think. You'll like what you see, right? And then go watch her in that NWA show. You'll be glad you did.
Facts. I don't know what NWA is going to be. I think it's going to be on Twitter. It's either on Twitter or YouTube. So, but go to NWA.com and see where it's streaming. So mainly I think it's on that Twitter, but at NWA. So yeah. But the thing that I want to say is this needed to be on my heart, and this is one of the reasons why I bought the show back because I can only say so many stuff in the spaces. I can only say so many stuff tweeting out. So on my own show, my own platform, I say this. Natty is not only I told her, I DM'd her, I would have probably told this in person, whatever. She's not just a low key legend, she is a legend. And so, for all the people who love Liv Morgan and stuff, she's the reason why Liv Morgan has gotten better in the ring. She's the reason why B Fab has gotten better, and a lot of different people. So when you want to decide, and I think this vitriol and the stuff that she has in these promos, if you've seen them, are like she be watching the comments. I bet she be hearing people be talking shit on her. Oh, why is Natty still here? I hear. Oh, she's just. Oh, it's a Natty match, so that means no pop. Oh, this and that. There's pure disrespect, you know. And you know what? I'm going to single out some people. I'm going to single out a group. Okay, not everybody in the group, but for majority, you motherfuckers on you Fed Walkers, you drones, you WWE fans that want to hate on Natty, you can thank her for having helping all the talent. Because if it wasn't for her, these motherfuckers would still be bad and they still be all right at wrestling. They have now been good. So now you give all the praise to Liv. You can thank Natty. Really, really, that's what you should do. You should say thank you to Natty, but none of you motherfuckers don't do that because you are who you are and you're gonna trash them. So I hear it all the time on TikTok. I hear it all on Twitter. Oh, that is coming out, so that we can go to the bathroom. Or we can get some popcorn. Oh, that is coming out. Oh, this match is going. When you should be learning that this is one of the best technical wrestlers out here, one of the best trainers, come from a legendary wrestling family, and really letting y'all slay and disrespect their name. I think one time I would have clapped back a couple of you motherfuckers that have been talking shit. Yeah, and I'm talking real spicy, okay? Okay, we talking about Mexican food spicy, okay? Because it's really pissing me off. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, she's the Al Snow of the vision." Okay, yeah, cool. She's getting a reaction, and even if she don't get a reaction, you should give her a reaction. God damn it, because this is a legend. This is 11. Cause y'all they're gonna be mad because motherfuckers leave or they get released and then they be cooking other places or they retire and they be like, yeah, nobody's gonna miss Natty and stuff like that. Listen, y'all need to stop disrespecting a goat that's been helping a lot of women get better. Your favorites get better. Not just women, but men too. I'm just saying. Angelo Dawkins be out there at the dungeon, and he gotten way better. So I want to hear, oh, if Angelo Dawkins went away from Arthur Ford, he wouldn't be as good. Now that man been cooking, giving y'all prime time action, man. So that being said, you know what, Stampede? Before I end this, you wanna say anything? You wanna get off anything off your chest, man?
Uh, no, I think I got everything off for this particular evening. I'm sure more things will rear their ugly heads tomorrow, as they always do in the wrestling world. So
All right, so we will be back on Friday. We are now on Fridays. Um, I don't think anything is changing. Um, but I think Stampede coming in. He had a free schedule. He's a busy man. He's a man in demand. So I appreciate him being my co-host again. Um, for tonight. And I want to say this. There's a thing that I want to get off. The thing is called nationality. So let me give you the nationality, people, and we'll end it on this. Listen, dog. I I don't conversate on Twitter that much to people who I don't need to conversate to. But if you're out here being a rat, if you're out here being a rat bastard, and I feel like if you are, keep that to yourself. But if you're out here tagging me trying to antagonize me. You want to poke that man. Trust me, it's not what you're gonna like. I don't troll. Well, hey, listen, y'all gonna make me troll the way y'all be talking crazy to people, talking crazy to a lot of my friends on here, talking real spicy. And one of those people is Stampede. So if I hear you talking crazy to Stampede or anybody else, comment on your comments. And I'm going to say what I need to say. Now, I don't do that all the time, but I'm just going to let you know that. Anyway, that being said, there is a lesson to know that if you listen to this all through 90 of these, and know that, hey, listen, for wrestlers, you can still have a podcast. You can still have a podcast and talk. I'm necessarily not saying, oh, so you're not being this or you're not being that, because you're getting signed. And no, I keep my opinions raw and real. I don't really go overboard on anything. If you think I'm going overboard, I'm not really going overboard. So anyway, it's not because I'm trying to get signed or E or TNA. I say my opinions I want. Sometimes people listen to it, they don't like it, but mostly have a good reputation, so that doesn't fit rather. So anyway, you can do it, wrestlers. And the other thing, the last these last statements is support independent territory wrestling, man. What the fuck y'all doing, man? Like the whole thing about the WWE ID thing, I would think most WWE fans or people who've never paid attention to World Wrestling, that they watch World Wrestling Entertainment, you would think they would give it a chance. I feel like y'all ain't. It's the same thing where we're at. So for those who do, I have a feeling there are some, and we need more who checking out supporting independent territories. Let me know in the comments next time, or go on my Twitter and say, hey, I want to check out independent wrestling, or I do check out independent territory wrestling, and I check out international wrestling. And if you don't, ask for links, and we got you. We'll help you out. We'll walk you through it. We ain't gonna be like no dickheads and say, look it up, Google it. We'll help you out. We'll walk you through it, man. So not only that, follow me on Twitter at that nasty Leroy. Follow me on Instagram at official nasty Leroy. Uh, you want to get the hottest merch in the game, the flyest merch in the game, and you want to be a part of the Flyers, not only group, not let's say group, the Flyers support people. You want to be a part of the town, the city. You will be a citizen of the Nasty Nation. Will go and get your t-shirts at brainbustertees.com. Where you can get the Nasty Wear t-shirt. You can get the Nasty Dust Texas. You can get the Nasty Express t-shirt. And then you can get the Nasty Team Army and all my other stuff. Go on foryourwear.com to get the Nasty Hottie jackets, the bear jackets of independent wrestling, man. Also the Nasty Team Worldwide jackets. So y'all see me walking around and y'all see me looking clean with a hey, look at me. Y'all know it's on brainbustertees.com. When you see me at your local show, you get the merch, come say what up, come chop it up with me, man. Talk some stuff. I'm all about all wrestling fans, If you're a WWE fan, that's cool. I'm not gonna hate on you. It is what it is. So that being said, SmackDown, the post show's coming up next. I know they gonna talk about all what's going on SmackDown. Talk about Roman Reigns. Talk about whoever was on the show. So shout out to my people. Shout out to Selena Vega winning the championship. Uh, yeah. Uh, that being said, be good to people. Don't be dickheads. And also, stay nasty, my friends. And this has been another episode of the Nasty Rally.